Hello everybody, welcome back to New Heights. I'm here with another gear loadout video. This one for an overnight backpacking trip. This will be the first backpacking type video that will be uploaded on this channel. But other than that, yeah, let's get right into it. First up, let's start with the clothing items. First up, my boots. These are just a pair of North Face boots. Pretty good boots for just backpacking, good support, waterproof, good grip. Moving over, we've got my zip-off nylon trekking shorts pants. So these legs here zip on and off so I can convert them from shorts to pants or vice versa, which is good for if it's raining or cold or whatever. Next up, I got a buff here, which works as pretty much everything, like a neck gaiter or beanie, whatever I need. It's lightweight. Over here, I got a pair of gloves. I've learned from past backpacking trips that having a pair of gloves is pretty good, even though it's a little bit of a luxury item. Just, my hands get kind of cold easily, so it's a good item to have. Up here, we have an extra pair of socks. You always want to have that just because you never know if your socks are going to get wet, and that is a recipe for disaster for your feet with blisters, especially mine. So I always have an extra dry pair of socks on me. Over here we have my North Face fleece. I talked about this in my sport climbing gear video. So it's just a pretty basic fleece. And then right here we have my rain shell. This is the Outdoor Research Optimizer jacket. So it's actually really more of an alpine lightweight shell. But since it's so waterproof and lightweight and breathable, I just wanted to bring it. Right here, we got my hat. I will always be wearing this just to keep the sun off my face because I get sunburned easily. And then also I have a pair of sunglasses. So, yep, that pretty much wraps up the clothing. Now let's go over to the actual gear. Alright, so some of the gear I have here is more specific to the type of backpacking trip I'm going to be doing. So this one, we're going to go about halfway up a 14er, spend the night, and then in the morning go summit, come back down, and then go the rest of the way down. So here I have my normal backpacking backpack. This is the REI Flash 65. It's a really, really good backpack. I thoroughly enjoy it. Just not much to say other than it's a great backpack. And then we got my Camelback right here. Not much to say about that. And then over here, this is the kind of other item I was talking about. This is what I'm going to call my Summit Pack. This is a Black Diamond Distance 15. If you haven't seen the review on it, go check it out now. But what I'm bringing this for is in the morning when we're going to go summit, I'm going to use this instead of this pack because it's just kind of unnecessary to have that much bulk and weight. It packs down small, I can throw it in my pack, and I'd rather have this than my bulky pack for the summit days. So yeah, it's more of a luxury item, but I like to have it. And then, like I talked about, my Camelback. And then here is my more big gear for sleeping and stuff. So I've got all this on a trash compactor bag just to keep all this stuff waterproof because I do not want it to get wet because then I will be very uncomfortable sleeping and I will not be warm either. So yeah, we'll get into this. First of all, my sleeping bag. This is the Hike and Bike ELS 800 Fill Powered Down 15-degree sleeping bag. I really like it. It's a good sleeping bag. I also have a pair of base layer bottoms in there to sleep in just because I don't like sleeping in my uncomfortable nylon hiking pants. And they also keep me a little bit warmer. Right here I've got my Thermarest Nero Air X Lite. Not much to say about that. And then this is a Outdoor Vitals ultralight pillow, which I got for free, which is pretty sick. And after sleeping on that, I will never go back to sleeping on jackets just because it's so much more comfortable and I get way better sleep with that. Alright, moving down, I've got my tent. So since I will be sharing the tent with another person, I have just the body and the stakes here, and then my partner has the fly and the poles, so we split the weight a little bit. This is the Cabela's Orion 2 tent. It's a really good budget backpacking tent. I've had it for a while, bought it as my first tent. So yeah, I would recommend this for people who are looking for a good budget backpacking tent. And then here I've just got my stakes, and then some seam sealer and extra fabric, just in case something goes wrong. Moving back up, I've got my stove. This is the Jetboil Zip. I've got the stove in there and then a little bit of fuel because you need that. Here's my kitchen, I guess you could say. I've got my bowl, some wet wipes, a camp towel, some lighters, matches, my fork, my spoon, just stuff that I would need to eat. Pretty basic there. And then here I've got my Diddy sack. This is something I always carry no matter what adventure I'm doing. I've talked about this in another video, but I've got ibuprofen, extra batteries, toilet paper, because that is absolutely necessary. Extra plastic bags, cord, just kind of stuff that you would need on a different basis. All right, moving down, we got the headlamp. This is the Black Diamond Storm headlamp. You will see a review on this coming out in a little bit, so yeah, keep an eye out for that one. Here I just got a simple Kershaw knife. This is a nice knife. Pretty simple, not much to say about it, but that's always a thing you need to have when you're backpacking. I've got my first aid here, just a pretty basic first aid kit. Some band-aids, some gauze, just basic stuff like that. Here I've got my water filter. This is the Cat9 Be-Free. It's kind of similar to the Sawyer Squeeze, other than it is way easier to use. And I recommend to anybody who's looking at getting something like the Sawyer Squeeze to spend just about $10 more and get this thing, because it is worth every penny. It's so much easier to use. It's lighter. It's way easier to pack. And then the cap, which is the actual filter, you can just clean by shaking or swishing it through the water. And it makes the life of this way longer than the Sawyer Squeeze would. So yeah, if you're looking for a water filter, definitely get this. It is a little bit more expensive than the Sawyer Squeeze, but it is worth it. Right here I've got some playing cards. These are kind of double-use playing cards because they're wilderness survival cards. So if I ever get into a situation where I need some knowledge, I can depend on these, but mainly they're just for entertainment in the tent, playing some card games. Moving up here, I've got my portable charger. This is a Raft Power. It's really, really big, but it is very essential because I film everything on my phone and my battery's not very good, so I'm constantly having to recharge it. I wish I had a smaller one that's about half this size, because this thing is really heavy and I don't like to have to carry it, but it is necessary so I can film everything on the trip. Right here, this is it's called a little Chico bag. I don't know where I got it. It's a little sil nylon bag that when you take it out of the stuff sack, expands into a big bag. It's about grocery bag size, and it's what I use to put all my food in. It's really light, and I just use it for organizational purposes. Speaking of food, here is just the basic food. For dinner, I've got some ramen. In addition to that, I'll probably have some of this tuna, because what I've experienced is that if I eat just normal ramen, then I have no energy and my muscles don't recover during the night when I'm sleeping. So for anybody who's backpacking like this, I would recommend, if you do ramen, have some protein to go with it like this. Like this thing has 18 grams of protein, which is plenty. I also might be doing some summer sausage with that as well, which has got some good protein. Then I also have beef jerky. For this, I've got just this hickory smoked tuna, which I can use for, as I said, with my ramen, or for like a lunch break. It's a really good snack. And then for breakfast, I've just got some oatmeal, which I've always done for backpacking, and I'll never do anything different because it's so easy and quick, and it warms you up, and it gives me plenty of energy, and it's got protein. So there's some food I don't have here. Which I obviously carry protein bars. I just don't have them with me. But I carry probably 3 or 4 of those on the entire trip, and I just snack on those during the day to keep me fed. Another item I also don't have here are headphones, which I recommend for those who are going on longer hikes like this one, which is long and steep, to bring some headphones, put some music on, and just kind of push through it. So yeah, recommend to bring headphones. I don't have them here right now, but last item on the list, I have just the Nalgene. I know I have my Camelback over there, but I can't really use that in camp, so I have this for camp, which I use to cook and drink in the tent when I'm sleeping, because you don't want to drink from that when you're in camp. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the basic overnight backpacking gear. And thanks for watching. I'll see you next time on Two New Heights.